So guys, most of you know I'm leaving for Texas shortly, and I came over to rent a car here over at this enterprise. And what's very interesting is they are closed until further notice. But take a look at this parking lot. Every one of these cars is an enterprise rental car. All these trucks, SUVs, cars, all have enterprise stickers on them. They all have writings on the windows, and they've been dumped off here in this parking lot. I got a McDonald's here, a Starbucks, a Burger King, Winchell's, Popeyes, and they just dumped all their cars in this area of public parking for these other businesses. So all these SUVs and cars, everything over there. I've got probably a good 100 cars here with the enterprise store right there, their office, closed until further notice, whatever that means. So couldn't rent a car today, but plenty of cars in inventory just sitting here in this parking lot that services all these restaurants and other stores. So thought I'd just show that to you today. I wanted to point out one more thing. Drive-through right here, probably about 12 cars in it next to the McDonald's drive-through. But on this Memorial Day, what I find so interesting, but not shocking by any stretch of the imagination, is I've probably passed 6 different Starbucks today in Riverside County, and there were so many cars in the drive-through. It was probably the busiest game in town with Starbucks. People cannot wait to spend that stimulus money on their $5, $6, and $7 mochas and coffees. But I mean, this is like a little itty bitty out of the way Starbucks here, and there's 12 cars in the line right now. And this is one of the lesser or least busiest ones I've seen of the day. Some of them, the lines have wrapped around parking lots. Absolute insanity what people will do for a $7 coffee today. So half the country doesn't have a job, but people out spending $5, $6, $7 for a coffee. It's unbelievable. Another very interesting thing today, I was at Bass Pro Shop picking up a rod for my reel today, and the sales guy told me that he was very happy that people were back out shopping, that the store was open, and I have to agree. He also said that most of the people in this store are spending their unemployment money. I was a little bit surprised he would say that. But I asked him what's going to happen when the unemployment benefits run out, and he just shook his head and said he doesn't know. It's going to be very interesting what is going to happen when millions of people don't have a job to return to when the benefits do run out. Are the Starbucks going to be busy like this? Are the Bass Pro Shops going to be busy? Only time will tell. Right now, I'm happy to see things are opening up. It's just good to see people out walking around. That's definitely a plus and a positive. But I'm not getting my expectations set too high, because we are certainly not out of the woods. Just look at the amount of unemployment money printing that is taking place, and very dramatic repercussions are going to occur because of this behavior, period. There is no way to avoid consequences that we're going to suffer from all this money printing and just handing people money to not go to work. I'm sorry to say that. I don't mean to be negative, but it is what it is. People are going to have a huge wake-up call when the government no longer is sending those checks, or that money starts buying less and less because of the severe money printing. It's going to start causing inflation. Inflation will go to hyperinflation. We're seeing it right now. Look, I just went to the grocery store last night. You go buy some seafood. Seafood, what I bought was up 25% from what it was 30 days ago. 25% increase in the seafood I bought last night compared to 30 days ago. So look, people out there will argue that I'm wrong, but right across the way next to the Winchell's Donut, I see a brand new for lease sign next to the Winchell's and Popeyes. So we'll see how it all plays out. I pray to God. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the economy comes back roaring and booming. I pray that we're not going to lose millions of jobs over this. I pray that everybody has a job to return to. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm going to be wrong. So I wanted to share a few minutes with all of you my experience today over at Enterprise Rental Cars. Closed until further notice with 100 cars sitting in the parking lot. Most of you already know that Hertz has just filed bankruptcy. Last week when I shot the 1,000+ rental cars parked over at the Indian Wells Tennis Garden, there were a lot of Enterprise cars there, a lot of Enterprise utility vans over there. So what kind of problems now are we seeing with Enterprise? What kind of problems are we going to see with some of these other car rental companies? But I wanted to go over an article with you that was on shtfplan.com a couple days ago. The Fed is now the proud owner of bankrupt Hertz bonds. And this is where we're at today. This is where it's all going. The Fed is the buyer and lender of last resort. The Fed disclosed that it's holding $1.8 billion under corporate credit facility holdings. This includes purchases of both investment grade LQD and junk bonds. As I make this video right now, as of this very moment, the Fed is a holder via BlackRock and via HYG and JNK of bonds, which are in default, which both hold Hertz bonds. So we now have the Fed holding Hertz bonds. So this means that they own part of Hertz. So what does this mean overall? We have the Fed now holding these bonds, holding bonds of other companies, but now holding these bonds of Hertz, making them part owner of Hertz. Should this be legal? Should this be allowed, where the Fed now is going to be owning these large companies, buying junk bonds? It's unbelievable. It really is unbelievable where we are at today. Wolfstreet.com, Hertz bankruptcy and fleet liquidation threaten to make mess of used vehicle price with burst of pent-up supply. And it's not just going to be Hertz. It looks like Enterprise is going to be in some trouble too. I mean, just think about that. 100 cars sitting out in the parking lot, closed until further notice. So now I have to go to a different Enterprise office or a different rental car office, not even knowing if half these places will even be open. Last I looked a few days ago, it doesn't even look like the rates have even come down that much. So I guess we're going to have dollars floating around. They're going to be liquidating cars, less cars on the lots to rent. And so does that mean prices could even go up? Flights, airline flights going up because there are less flights. Now, will I be having to pay more for rental car, even though there's thousands of these things sitting on lots all around my area here? Am I going to end up even paying more than I did a year ago? It's going to be interesting. I'll keep you posted with that. So as I was out today, as I shared with you, being at Bass Pro Shop, running some errands throughout San Bernardino County, Riverside County, look, more tents are popping up all over the place. I'm always looking off the side of the freeways, and every time I'm driving down I-10, down the 60, down the 215, down the 15, guess what I see? I see more tents popping up. And this is a really bad indicator of where this economy is going. Look, there were people out today spending money, no doubt about it. Were they spending their money? Were they spending stimulus money? Were they spending unemployment benefits, welfare benefits? I don't know. Like, what are they spending? But you know, it just looked like nobody was fazed. Everybody was out having a good time, spending money. So maybe this isn't going to be as bad as we think, or maybe it will be even worse than we think. I'll tell you, it's almost confusing. But I didn't see as much traffic as I thought I would see on a Memorial Day weekend. I didn't see as many boats coming home from Lake Havasu or Parker, Arizona. But you know, I did see RVs. I did see the fifth wheelers driving down, but I didn't see as many boats. I didn't see nearly as much traffic as I normally see on the freeways out here on Memorial Day, that's for sure. So it's definitely more quiet, less traffic, but by looking at people today shopping, it didn't look like they were hurting too bad, but wasn't that busy. Bass Pro Shop for Memorial Day, not that busy. Only 40% of Americans plan to grill this Memorial Day. It will host smaller crowds, less food. This is on The Hedge. 25 to 30% of consumers are planning to purchase less food and beverages than a normal year. 40% plan to celebrate this holiday versus 56% in a normal year. Many still have health concerns. And yes, there were a lot of people wearing masks today. I would say it was about 50-50. But at the end of the day, what I take away from all this is something really feels off here. Definitely less people out. Definitely less people out shopping. Yes, there were people shopping. Yes, there were people spending money, no doubt about it. But for a Memorial Day weekend, for a Memorial Day period, the roads were not busy at all. The freeways were wide open. I would say Bass Pro Shop had 100, 150 people max when I was in it. And you know these stores are enormous. And most of these people were there picking up firearms. That's where 50% of the crowd went, right upstairs, picking up firearms. So I don't know if that is indicating something also, but this is definitely a different time, a different era in history. Things are definitely changing. Things don't feel right, in my humble opinion. Something is definitely off here. Let me know. Comment down below. What do you think? Were you out today? How was the traffic in your areas? I know that the beaches, I heard, were packed all over the country. But the retailers didn't look that busy, even though there were some people out. My area out here, the outlets out in Cabazon looked closed. Nobody there, closed down. There were still a lot of retailers, a lot of restaurants closed, takeout only. There is some patio seating taking place, but things were definitely more free in San Bernardino County versus Riverside County. Certainly more free in Riverside and San Bernardino versus places like LA County, Orange County, San Diego County. But things don't seem right. This economy is not completely open, no doubt about it. You can certainly see the beating that this economy is taking. Some very large stores closed. And when I shot that video in the Enterprise parking lot there, there was a store that was for lease. It is closed up now. I actually remember the individual. I met the individual who owned that store. He was a barber, owned a small barber shop. And I had actually went out to the range a couple times with him, helped him with his shooting. His store is now closed. His barber shop is closed, bit the dust. And I know he had like 5 or 6 kids. So what does this mean for somebody like him with 5, 6 kids and a wife? So yeah, something is not right here, and you can definitely see the wreckage that this economy is taking. No doubt, big trouble ahead. Many stores along the freeways were closed. Many stores were closed permanently with signs for sale, for lease, going out of business sales. I was on the 91 freeway in Riverside across from the Tyler Mall. 2 big stores closed. One of them was about an 80, maybe 100,000 square foot furniture store, going out of business sale, closing soon. Another one, I believe, was a Boot Barn, big store in the same shopping plaza, closed. So that's going to be 2 large stores in a shopping plaza closed. Again, Bass Pro Shop, maybe 150 people max, half of those people just there to pick up firearms. Took me about 15 minutes max to get into the store. Didn't have to wait. Everywhere we drove today, there were no lines to get into restaurants for takeout. There were no lines to get into any of the retailers. The RV lots were packed with RVs. The car lots packed with cars. And the tents are popping up all over the 91, the 60, the 215, the 15. Tents everywhere. It does not look good, ladies and gentlemen. There is some glimmer of hope here and there. People were out. Some people were spending money. There's no doubt about it. People are spending those stimulus checks. They're spending the unemployment checks. My concern is what happens after July 31st when the $600 bonuses end. What's going to happen when the unemployment benefits start running out? Look, I don't know where this is all going to go, but from what I can see, it's not going to go to a very good place. Please comment down below. I want to know what's happening in your area. Look, the beaches out here looked busy. Beaches in Florida, Texas look busy. I don't know what the crowd was like in Havasu or Parker out in Arizona. But again, I didn't see a lot of returning traffic today like I normally do. I didn't see a lot of boats coming back from that direction coming down the 10. So I don't think it was a record-breaking weekend out there. I'm sure there was a lot of people out there, but not what we're used to seeing. But comment down below. Is it booming in your area? Is it just mediocre? Or are you really seeing the signs of this economy taking a toll on the retailers and the restaurants in your area? Please comment down below. We would love to know what's happening in your area. I'm going to leave it there. Futures, Dow futures up over 300 points right now. The market's going to continue to boom. It's getting tons of free money. So as long as it's getting tons of free money and the Fed is going to do everything, throw the kitchen sink at it, do whatever it has to do to keep everything propped up, it's going to continue to go up. This economy is not going up. This economy is in big trouble, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope everybody watching this video is continuing to prepare. If you are getting a stimulus check, if you are getting benefits, be smart. Conserve that money. Put it away. We're not coming to a rainy day. We are coming to an economic tsunami. This does not look good. And as I went out today into San Bernardino County, Riverside County, two of the biggest counties in the United States of America, I saw vacant parking lots, vacant buildings, a lot of tent cities, a lot of homeless walking around. And I didn't see a whole lot of traffic, and I didn't see a whole lot of traffic at the retailers. So maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just not seeing the booming economy. Maybe I'm just not seeing the silver lining here. But what I saw today reinforces what I believe. This economy is going into collapse mode, and that means all of us need to be going into survival mode. It's going to get much worse.